Hi everyone, I'm Amy T and this is Samantha Griffin, and we are here with WIN's second ever video blog, and we are so excited to be with you and to have you watching us. We're making this video blog to expand a little bit upon the very short statement that we released last Thursday about Trayvon Martin. And as you watch this video, we just have a couple of things that we'd like you to keep in mind. The first thing is that obviously there's so much to say about this case. There's so much that's bound up in it, and we can never cover it all. Obviously, we couldn't cover it all in our short statement, and we definitely won't cover it all today in this video blog. So this is just a starting point, again, for discussion. The second thing that we want to note is that although the statement that we released was released on behalf of the entire 2012 through 2013 Executive Committee, when Samantha and I say the word we in this video, we are referring to she and I as individuals.
Absolutely. So as Amy said, there are many factors that we thought were important in this case, but we did have to focus on some. And so we spoke specifically about the trial and certain aspects of that, specifically the jury composition, because although we may want to think that this was just a failure of our justice system and, you know, that in this case the jury instructions or whatever happened were just this terrible thing that created this isolated incident, that's simply not true. To be blunt, we really believe that our justice system was founded on white supremacy, and so in that light, unfortunately, this was a success based on how the system was designed.
And if you want to read more about what we mean by this, we would encourage you to check out the blog Black Girl Dangerous by Mia McKenzie. We will link to the specific post in the description, but we would invite you to check out her thinking, some of which guided our thinking today. And we also wanted to talk about stand your ground laws and how problematic they are. We felt like it was really important to highlight Marissa Alexander, who is a black woman in Florida who was convicted under stand your ground laws when she fired a warning shot in self-defense during a confrontation by her abusive ex-partner. And we just wanted to highlight the problematic nature of these stand your ground laws and encourage winners to take action around her and rally around her.
Absolutely. And I think that the case of Marissa Alexander really highlights how racial profiling is not just a thing that happens to black men. It does take place across gender and across ages. And so it's important, and we hope that you will stand in solidarity with Marissa Alexander. We'll make sure that we link to a source where you can find out what's happening there and what actions people are taking to move forward.
Yeah. So bringing it back to what we did decide to include in this statement, we did include a statement that talked about the intersection of the race and gender of the jury. So 5 of the 6 women who were on the jury were white women, and we felt that this was really important for us to highlight. One of the reasons that we think this is because WIN is, quite frankly, training the next and current generation of political leaders, women who are running for office, women who are in really high-powered advocacy positions, women who are in places to make change. And we just feel like it's really important. It was definitely a priority of this executive committee, and we're really hoping that it will be a continued priority of WIN, that WIN members are having these important conversations so that when we are in the position to start making changes, to start writing new laws and policies that are not, so problematically around a white supremacist system, that we are doing so from a place where we have had conversations on intersectionality. We understand what anti-racism is, and we have an understanding of the problematic nature of the white supremacy in these systems that we're dealing with. We also wanted to highlight, of course, that all WIN members are potential jurors, so that's why we felt like this was an important conversation to have.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that WIN is really well positioned to have this conversation. We are a historically white organization, and we continue to be seen by outsiders, by the DC community, and even by some winners as still a white organization. And so of all the people to say something, it seemed like us. But then also, speaking from a personal place, as the outgoing vice chair who is also a black woman, and, blackness is a thing that impacts me every day, I know firsthand that all winners are not white women. And to be more specific, we're not all white, heterosexual, cisgendered, upper middle class, educated, etc., etc. And so it's really important that we highlight both the race and gender of the jury, because we have to challenge narratives of white supremacy and patriarchy wherever we find them, even if they take us to uncomfortable places as a group and as a community and as individuals.
Right. And we wanted to also talk about the racist narrative that was clearly employed during the trial, the narrative that teaches white women to fear men of color, and particularly black men. Whether or not that is something that is rooted in reality, it is something that white women are taught. It's something that many white women and white feminists, in fact, really need to examine and think about. So we felt like it was really important to bring that up in our statement from WIN as an organization that includes lots of white women.
Absolutely. But of course, our goal was really not to call out or blame white women, and certainly not white winners. It felt very important for us to make a statement like this, because so many WIN members are in fact women of color, and as we're moving towards our next 25 years of continuously representing even more diverse populations. I hate the word diversity. But, as we put out the y'all come call, we have to be honest and we have to move forward with integrity. And if we didn't say something, and if WIN didn't begin to speak out on issues that may seem like they're outside of our traditional kind of choice framework and political trainings in sort of a vacuum, then we would be continuing to silence the voices of winners and pro-choice democratic women who have traditionally been marginalized by women's movements and by feminist movements, and unfortunately even progressive and democratic movements.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we have to say to you, just to expand upon our statement. This is not the end of the discussion. This is certainly not the end of the conversation. We definitely encourage you to continue to engage with us in the comments on this blog post, on the blog post that included our statement, on social media. However you want to engage. We may even have some events on this in the coming WIN programming year, depending on whether this is a conversation we feel is a good place to continue having this conversation for WIN. So we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. And so thank you for listening, and we hope that you all have a good day.
All right. Check out what's in the comments and take action. Bye.
Bye.